The Milton Keynes team is poised to revolutionize Formula One in an extraordinary way, and Ford's revelations about this strategic alliance could radically transform the landscape of the 2026 championship. However, before you think you fully understand the situation, allow me to share the details that are being articulated behind the scenes at Red Bull, as this narrative goes far beyond what appears on the surface. When Red Bull announced that it would become a powertrain manufacturer for the first time in its history, it was met with widespread skepticism. How could a team that had traditionally relied on external suppliers compete with giants such as Mercedes, Ferrari, and Honda? The solution lay in a collaboration with Ford, but no one anticipated the true extent of this strategic alliance. Mark Rushbrook, head of motorsport at Ford, recently made some striking statements in an interview. Initially, the partnership had simple goals. Ford would focus exclusively on the powertrain's electrical components, allowing Red Bull to manage the internal combustion. It was a clear division of responsibilities, similar to neighbors organizing shared activities. However, the plans underwent radical changes. Currently, Ford is involved in virtually every aspect of Red Bull's car. Yes, you understood correctly. The collaboration goes beyond batteries, electric motors, or inverters. They are now deeply involved in internal combustion, component manufacturing, and even the team's day-to-day operations. It is as if Ford decided not only to provide equipment, but to actively participate in the entire construction of the project. What is the reason for this strategic change? The explanation lies in the ideal timeline and reality of the new regulations for 2026. After the collapse of its partnership with Porsche, Red Bull faced challenging circumstances. Creating a completely new powertrain is a complex undertaking, especially without prior experience. It was at this moment that Ford appeared opportunely as a collaborator who shows up precisely when most needed. The new regulations for 2026 represent more than just changes. They constitute a complete transformation. Vehicles will be reduced by 30 kilograms. DRS will be replaced by active aerodynamics, and powertrains will operate with a balanced split between electric power and internal combustion using sustainable biofuels. Essentially, a completely revamped Formula One. Herein lies the fundamental aspect that many overlook. Energy management will be the decisive factor. While in the current era, engine development remains frozen and competition takes place mainly in the chassis, in 2026, those who best master the available energy management will gain substantial advantages. It is equivalent to having a winning card in a decisive match. Max Verstappen, four-time world champion and central figure at Red Bull, has already acknowledged that the 2026 races will be defined by energy management. When asked about the possibility of races becoming more strategic in this regard, he replied directly, "That is exactly how it will be. Some races more intensely than others, but the energy element will be fundamental. Consider the whole picture. While other teams are preparing for this new reality, Red Bull is not only developing a brand new powertrain, but is also revamping its technical approach with the help of one of the world's largest automakers." Ford did not enter into this partnership simply to understand electrification, as was the initial goal. They realized that there were many more benefits to be had. Rushbrook clearly explained that Ford wanted to understand battery cell chemistry, motors, inverters, calibration, control, and how all these elements interact with the combustion engine. They later discovered that there was still a lot of knowledge to be gained in the area of internal combustion. It's like helping a friend with a painting and ending up redesigning the entire project. The question remains, can this expanded partnership provide Red Bull with the superiority it needs to maintain its dominance? Or are other teams, such as Ferrari with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, or Mercedes with George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, already preparing their own secret strategies? One thing is certain, Red Bull has always had abundant resources, but developing a completely new engine is a challenge that transcends financial resources. It requires knowledge, experience, and, above all, the ability to innovate in uncharted territory. With Ford now involved in almost every aspect of the vehicle, this equation may have been completely altered. The timing of this expanded partnership couldn't be more perfect. While Honda switches sides to partner with Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin, and Audi prepares its entry as an official team through the transformation of Sauber, Red Bull is building something unique. It's a methodology that no other team is experimenting with. But will it work? The answer could determine not only the future of Red Bull, but the entire dynamic of Formula One in the coming years. Because if the Ford-Red Bull alliance truly delivers on its promises, other teams may be forced to reconsider their own development strategies. The great irony is that Red Bull, traditionally recognized for its excellence in chassis and aerodynamics, is now investing heavily in an area where it has never had any experience of its own. It's a risky strategy, but one that could yield extraordinary returns if successful. The most fascinating aspect of this situation is how a seemingly simple change of plans can have such far-reaching consequences. Ford entered the market focused on electrification and ended up getting involved in the entire operation. Red Bull envisioned a specific partnership and gained a strategic ally in virtually every area. Now, with less than 2 years to go until 2026, the pressure is mounting. Max Verstappen, already a 4-time world champion, knows he will be driving something completely different from anything he has ever experienced. The question is, will this new car be better or worse than what he currently has? The answer will not only affect Verstappen's future, but could redefine the entire hierarchy of Formula One. Because if Red Bull gets this expanded partnership with Ford right, other teams will have to make up lost ground. And in Formula One, making up lost ground usually means falling behind for years. We are witnessing one of the most significant transformations in the recent history of the category. And the alliance between Red Bull and Ford could be the defining factor in who will dominate the next era of Formula One. The question remains, are you ready to witness a completely transformed Red Bull in 2026? Or do you still believe that other teams will manage to surprise us? Share your perspective in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow all the updates from the most exciting behind the scenes of Formula One.